Growing up in the Roseland community on the south side of Chicago, you had two choices: join a gang or become a standout athlete. If we only celebrate children's accomplishments in sports, why would they strive to be great at anything else? As an adult, I vowed to be a part of changing that culture. We started the 530 Scholars to build a culture that celebrates high achievement in academics. Welcome to the new normal, where being smart is cool.
I love it. I love it. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to 530 Scholars Sneaker Ball Fundraiser event. Before I get started, can we give a huge round of applause to Silas Green and everybody that's a part of 530's team? It is the genius within you, the genius within each of you that gives you the potential to inspire the world. My name is Marquise Hill. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a motivational speaker, author, and clothing brand owner. And I'm honored to be you all's host for the day. 530 Scholars was founded in 2017 with the mission to help kids be in the top 5% of their class, and on the path to help students score over a 30 or higher on their ACT, which will then give them the opportunity to apply to whatever college they want to go to and get accepted. Can we just give a hand for that? I want to tell this quick story. About 3 months ago, I had met Silas, and we were having a conversation about his organization, 530 Scholars. And I remember he invited me to this event called the Genius League, right? And it blew my mind to see how many schools he brought out, right? How many kids he brought out, and just the energy they had, the excitement they had to do math. It's like they made math fun, and not only that, but they created a space for the youth where they could unleash the genius within them. So today, y'all, we're gonna have a jam-packed day. We're gonna be doing a lot of fun activities throughout the day. We're gonna have some keynote speakers to finish us out strong today. So for everybody online, we may have some downtime sometimes, but just stick with us. Today is gonna be a very good day. All right? I love it. I love it. Y'all, 530 Scholars has impacted well over 2,000 students through their programs, through their events, and their impact can continue to be furthered right through you all's donations. Whether it's $1 or whether it's $100, our future geniuses need you. I'm gonna say it one more time. Whether it's $1 or $100, whatever you feel in your heart to donate, our future geniuses need you. So for everybody here in person, for everybody watching online, if you want to donate, go to 530scholars.com. I'm gonna say it one more time, 530scholars.com. But like I said, today about to be a great day, y'all. So can we give another round of applause for 530 Scholars? Let's go.
How you guys doing? All right, so I'm Silas Green. I'm not gonna be long. I'm one of the co-founders of the 530 Scholars. And anybody ever seen the video? It's one of my favorite videos, where Richard Williams and Venus Williams are doing this interview, and the reporter asks Venus Williams, how good does she think she's gonna be? And she said, I'm gonna be the best. Anybody seen that video? Y'all remember that video? So for those of you who haven't seen it, the reporter asked a young Venus Williams, she couldn't have been more than 12 years old, like how great does she think she's gonna be? And she's like, I'm gonna be the best. And then the reporter said, it was a white reporter, he said, really? He said, what makes you say that? And she's like, because I am. And he's like, but why do you think? And Richard Williams chimed in. And he said, hey, let me stop you right there. He said, that's a young black girl's confidence that you're dealing with right now. He said, she done told you what it was. And then he used some choice words that I won't use right now. But he said, she told you what it was the first time. He said, leave that alone. Because she going to be playing tennis and winning when me and you are in the grade. And that's what this event is about tonight. So we know that our kids are unapologetically genius, right? And as adults, as guys, as mentors, it's our responsibility to protect that. All black kids deserve a Richard Williams. So for those of you in the room, this was an invite only to our top 25 scholars. Yeah. Right? Our Hall of Famers, our ride or die 530 people. So this is not just a public, let's get as many people as we can get to this party type of event. So if you're in this room today, then you are our genius. We recognize something special in you. You deserve a Richard Williams. And those of you who know me, I'm that Richard Williams for those kids. Amen? All right. So if anybody challenges their genius, then they know I show that other side of me, because I know that we got to protect it at all costs. And I just want to say one more thing. It's like these fighters in our culture. Like, anybody heard of Muhammad Ali? I was supposed to ask y'all who's the greatest heavyweight of all time. So let's try that again. Who's the greatest heavyweight of all time? Muhammad Ali, all right? So who's the only fighter that just go 50-0, no defeats? Anybody know? Featherweight or lightweight, middleweight? He won it a whole bunch of different levels. Who is it? Floyd Mayweather. All right, and what they had in common was at some point in their career, they was like, I'm the greatest. And the media just blasted him. Just like they was trying to do Venus Williams, right? They said, I'm the greatest. When Ali said he was the greatest and everything, he just cocky, he's arrogant, he's all these things. But he was a visionary, he told them what it was, right? So now that we buried him, now we all like, he's the greatest and nobody doesn't know. We want to give him his flowers when he can't hear, but when he was here, everybody was hating on him. Floyd Mayweather told everybody that he was the greatest. And everybody was like, ooh, I can't. People paid hundreds of millions of dollars to see them lose. But with Floyd Mayweather, it never happened. They just kept paying, he kept winning, right? And now we got to admit that he is the greatest. Amen? All right, so that's what Unleashing the Greatest Within is about. Because you can't wait on anybody else's approval to tell you to be great. Even when they see that you're great, they're still going to try to deny it because they don't want you to outshine them, right? But we're not going to deal our life for nobody else. So with that said, we're gonna bring MJ back up so he can do his thing, and we're gonna get this party started. All right.
All right, y'all. So I do this chant, and we get real hype when I do this chant. All right. So on three, I'm gonna need everybody say it's a good day to be great. All right. Y'all got me?
Yes.
All right. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's a good day to be great.
1, 2, 3.
It's a good day to be great.
One more time. I need you to get loud. I need you to get hype on this one. 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's a good day to be great. This is 5:30 day. We're gonna highlight some amazing young geniuses. And I just want to say personally, I'm proud of every student in this room. Like, you all just expressing your genius ability, right? You all being highlighted, y'all deserve it. And I feel like, not only do we need this in Chicago, I told Tyler, we gotta bring this to Atlanta. We gotta make this global. Because this right here, there's so many young geniuses just in the world who truly need to be recognized. And y'all deserve y'all flowers now, right? Like you said, y'all don't need it later. Y'all don't need it in a week from now, a month from now. Y'all deserve all the love, all the support from everybody now. So again, thank y'all so much. Come on, today's about to be a great day.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Oh no. Wait a minute. So when MJ said, wait a minute. I'm a little confused. What just happened? Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Okay. All right. My name is Dr. Maya Green. I'm the board chair for 530 Scholars. I'm excited to be here tonight and even more excited to give them the flowers to present what we need to our wonderful geniuses. So I'll just start and grab. Oh, I got my sister-in-law. My sister, I take the in-law office at some point. Rhoda Green to help me. I'd like to call the first person up, Jacoby Scott. That's what I'm gonna do. Jacoby, you in the room? All right, we'll give them to you when you hear your name. I'll put that right there. Unisys, put it right there. Unisys. Precious Garrett. D'Angelo Wakefield. Thomas Canfield. You can come on up. Just come on up if you hear your name, come on up. Maybe I'm moving a little too fast. Kier Carter. Jalen Hook. Here. Makai West. Oh, Michael West. Kylie Haywood. Michaela Scales. Derek Walker. Stephen Mitchell. Okay, Stephen's with us. Okay. With the cape, because when you just a superhero, what you need is a cape. You see what I'm saying?
Sue.
Boom.
Come on, Sue.
The rest of y'all tried it, but you see, that's how it's done. Raiden Davidson.
Silence.
Christina Greenwood. Benjamin Shakubi. Okay. Next up, we got Raphael Nwanko. Favor Amibaba. These are the top 25 scholars. Jefferson Madison. Annette Hodges. Oh, sorry. Milton Luther.
Tree.
Another cake, okay. We got a lot of cakes in here. We got a lot of superheroes. We're gonna find out what that's all about later. Katrina Lee. Vincent Harris. Renaya King. Italy Moore. Deontay Luckett. Sincere Williams. All right, the next four is a Hall of Fame.
These, if you look around and see these big life-size banners from our Hall of Famers, all right, and what we want to do is we want to recognize the students who have excelled so much that we had to elevate them to the status of Hall of Fame. Mike, come here for a second, please. And so these students have won competitions so dominantly that they don't even compete in our Math Masters competition anymore. They're in the Hall of Fame. All right, so what they do is they coach other students to help them reach the same level of greatness. And we want to recognize them today. And then we'll have some people say a few words on behalf of them. All right, so my first Hall of Famer that I want to recognize is the young beast mode. All right, this is Caleb Green. Caleb Green is the only Hall of Famer who has, that's not true. He won 3 straight tournaments, though. He won 3 straight tournaments and Genius League tournaments. And that is why we created the Hall of Fame, because everybody was like, he's gonna keep on winning. So he was so dominant last year. So it was a really good year for him. So Caleb, congratulations. We have your principal today, and she's gonna say a couple of words. All right, so welcome the principal of Bronzeville, Ms. Nicole Spicer.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to say some kind words about Caleb Green on his induction to the Hall of Fame. While I wrote something down, I really want to speak from my heart. I wrote some things down because I didn't want to forget all the great things about you. So when I think about what 530 Scholar stands for and Caleb's growth over the past few years, I really do think about unleashing the genius. When Caleb came to us, he was very quiet, he was very shy, didn't really see his talent shine through. But over the past couple of years, we've had the pleasure of watching him unleash his genius. His confidence has built and grown over the years, and he is now sharing his talents with the world. So we're happy to name a few of his accomplishments since he has become a BCS Eagle. The first one is as a fourth grader. Did you all know that Caleb is a fourth grader? He represented our school in the citywide spelling bee. And if you didn't know, only 50 students advanced to that round, and he did not get eliminated in the first round. He actually competed for 4 or 5 rounds. So we're really excited for him. The second accomplishment I want to elevate is that he placed second in the Math Masters tournament. Not only has Caleb shown his academic prowess, but he also consistently demonstrates our core values of integrity, team, value, intention, and being adaptable. And even when he does make a bad choice, because we all have those moments, he takes accountability and he really leans in. So we really appreciated that about him. Lastly, he's a straight A student in the accelerator program, and we're so excited about the value that he adds to our school, and we can't wait to see the impact that he leaves on this world. So I want to say congratulations, Caleb. This is a much well-deserved honor.
Caleb wants, oh, pitch. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Caleb's sister and Caleb wanted me to correct the record. He won first place in the Math Masters 2 times in the during this school year. He won 2 times. All right. So he's like, no, wait a second. All right. So the next Math Master Hall of Fame person that I want to bring up is actually Caleb's older sister. Her and Micah dominated the Genius League when we first started. So just a little background on the Genius League. We started during COVID. So we needed to come up with something fun for children to do online to keep them engaged in math. So our first tournaments were virtual, and we would have almost 100 kids sign up, and JL and Micah Smith as 4th graders just dominated the tournament. So she won 3 individual championships and won 1 doubles with Micah, and we had to make her stop competing because she was just winning too much. And y'all give it up for the champ, JL Green. And we have our board chair here that's going to induct her into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. Have you ever met someone that you knew was intelligent since they were a child? This is a person, I'm also a JL aunt. This is a person that even as a child, you had to just speak just like this, even as a baby, for her to respond. She never did the baby talk or things like that. She is a person that once she sets her mind to something, it doesn't change, which is very significant because she's growing up in a world where usually if you're a woman and if you're a person of color, you know, society as a whole tries to make you consistently rethink yourself, you know? And how many of us have looked back and said, man, I should have just trusted myself. When this person sets her mind to anything, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do this, that is the schedule, and everybody just moves around. She's an inspiration to her peers, she's an inspiration to everyone in here. She's also an inspiration to me. So I'd like to really say thank you, JL, for being an inspiration to so many people. Not only that, she sits around and thinks like, hey, we need a program where Black girls can just have a space to excel academically, and we'll literally form a company around it. right? So I'm excited about the work you do. I'm so proud of you. I'm more excited about the work you're gonna do. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. That's it. That's all I gotta say. You need a picture, right?
All right. About to drop some bars up there. Give me a beat, DJ. All right, cool. So this next Mad Master earned the name the Grim Reaper
Oh, okay.
because one year she lost a tournament to somebody she knew she should have beat. And she just felt some type of way about that. And the next tournament, she came in and annihilated the competition. I mean, it was some Hall of Famers, some future Hall of Famers in that competition. And she bulldozed through everybody in that competition. And normally, I interview the kids after the competitions, and they say sweet stuff like, it was tough competition. Everybody, brought their A game. I'm just lucky to win, and I'm just proud to be a part of this group. But the Grim Reaper said, I lost that last competition and I didn't like it. So I went back and I watched the video and I knew who the top Mad Masters were. So I paid attention to what numbers they picked. And whatever the highest score they ever scored was, I made sure I scored 5 higher. So when they picked their specialty, I would beat them in their specialty, and then they would know that they couldn't beat me. And that's why she's a Grim Reaper. All right, and that's the mindset of a champion. Kobe Bryant read her book to get inspired. So y'all give it up for the Grim Reaper, Alyssa McGee. All right, so Alyssa's sister is in the room today, and she has a nickname of the GOAT. She's shy, so I don't know if she's gonna come up here and speak, but I hope that she does. Um, can you say some kind words for your sister as she gets inducted into the Hall of Fame? Y'all give it up for Ariel, the GOAT. See, Ariel has scored the highest. Well, I'll talk about Ariel later. Go ahead and talk about Alyssa now. Here you go.
When I heard the story of how Alyssa earned the nickname the Grim Reaper, I was not surprised at all because she's one of the pettiest people I've ever met. And also one of the most competitive people that I have ever met. You are competitive. She says she's not competitive. But as someone who's grown up with you playing games, you're one of the most competitive people I've met. So I'm happy that she ended up in 530 scholars with me and I'm really proud of you for getting into the Hall of Fame and getting the Grim Reaper nickname, which I know that you are immensely proud of.
All right, so the last certificate is gonna go to our newest member of the Hall of Fame. All right, so we have a chairperson that's gonna speak on her behalf, so I'm not gonna steal her lines, but I do want to let you know this young lady is so calm. She's so quiet that at the beginning of the competition, nobody even knew who she was. Okay, wait. But they know now because she annihilated the competition last tournament, and every single time she came to the rounds, she brought her best effort. So we nicknamed her the A game, and we ordered your banner. So at the next tournament, you're gonna be on one of these A game with your nickname. So we want to see you at the next tournament.
Come on up for that, Hodges. Some people are a little longer in this time. So as Silas mentioned, taking all my lines, nobody knew who Annette was at the last Genius League Math Masters tournament. She was not in the top 8, but she quietly moved her way up the ranks, round by round. And when Silas said, I said, who's the winner? He said, Annette Hodges. I'm like, who is that? Because everybody expected one of the top 8 to win. She came in quietly, confidently. I don't think I've ever heard her say more than 2 words. Like, where's my mom? Okay, maybe that's 3. But she's quiet, right, and I won. She's very quiet, she's very confident, and she is the epitome of strength. So that just goes to show you, you don't have to be like everybody else to be great. She is her own brand of greatness, and we appreciate her as she is. Congratulations, Annette, on your win. And now we're going to have a math magician demonstration by Caleb Green and Sydney, what should I say? Sydney Sayre.
Okay, so first I'm going to start with some real magic. That's not burning, by the way. But I'm gonna divide a number, any number, 1 to 100. I'm gonna divide it by 11 and 8. You guys get to choose.
We get to choose the number.
11. Steven.
We're talking 44.
Too easy. 2. 4. 68. 6.1818.
Oh, everybody pull out the calculator. You can do this yourself. Real talk. All right, 73.
72.
Divided by 11.
Divided by 11. 6.6363.
Get out of number.
Somebody give him a number.
87.
7.9090.
All right, Sydney's next.
I'm gonna multiply 5.
Give her a number. 1 through 100, give her a number. 36.
380.
Anybody else got a number?
41. 205.
And one more number. Go ahead. Call it out, Benjamin. His number was 8.
405.
All right, good job. Mathematician. All right. Oh, you want to divide them by 8? Give him a number you want to divide by 8. You didn't get enough math. Come on. 73. That's hard. 73.
9.125.
All right, good job. All right. That's too easy. You said too easy. All right, so now I want to bring up my SAT kids. All right, so anybody know what 530 stands for? Anybody know what 530 stands for? Not the people in 530. Somebody that's not in 530. Anybody know what 530 stands for? All right. All right, let me get the facts. What does 530 stand for?
Top 5% in like everything, and then 30 on the ACT or higher.
All right. So 530 is in our name. Our mission is in our name. We want to keep kids in the top 5% reading and math, and then we want them to score a 30 on the ACT or the SAT equivalent, which happens to be 1400. Because in the top 5%, that's where all the scholarship opportunities lie. So we send our kids to college, but they don't pay for it. Amen. All right. So we're not paying for a free education. All right. So we have some scholars in the room, ninth graders, who have scored the 530 goal, who have hit the 530 goal. So we want to recognize them. So the first one is Janine Webster. So Janine Webster, come up here. All right, so I'm gonna try to make this one quick. So Janine is one of my favorite students, and she knows that. Janine, when she first came to 530, everybody was doing vision boards. And I said, what's your goal, Janine? And she said, to score a perfect on the SAT. And this was like 4 years ago. And I never let her forget that. So every time I see her, you know what I'm saying? Remember what you said. Nobody made you say it, but you said it. So I've been holding her accountable. This year she scored a 1260 on the PSAT as a ninth grader. For those of you who are doing the math, that's the 97th percentile. She was in the 99th percentile in math, right? Yes, 99, top 1% in math. And we always recognize our 530 scholars when they hit the 530 dream. So we don't have a certificate for you, but we got $100. $100 Amazon gift certificate. All right. So thank you, Janine. All right. And picture. And it's gonna be a reoccurring thing. Thank you, Janine. Good job. She's well on her way to a perfect. All right, our next SAT gift, and I gotta figure out these amounts. I'm just give everybody $100, but this person is coming up for the second time today, so that's gonna be like $200. All right, so the Grim Reaper, come on up here, the Grim Reaper. All right, so the Grim Reaper. She was she was one of those people who didn't want to walk into her greatness at first. So when I first saw her come into the center, we were doing Latin, remember that? And she put up a score like 45 Latin roots in 1 minute, like her first day. And I was like, who is this kid? And I was like, this kid is special. And she was like, no. She's like, don't put that on me, because she's a younger sibling, so her sister was killing it. And she's like, that's her thing. You know what I mean? She's like, don't try to put that pressure on me. After she won the tournament, it was all gas, no brakes. This young lady scored in the top 1% in reading and writing and math. So she's in the 99.99999 percentile on that PSAT as a ninth grader. She put up a score of 1330. Amen. And she improved her score 90 points on each thing, on each subject, all right, this year. All right, so she put in work. All right, so y'all give it up for the Grim Reaper, Alyssa McGee. The photographer left. I was looking for my photo op, but we don't have another certificate for you, but we got a $100 Amazon gift certificate. All right, so we have a college student in here that we call the GOAT. All right, and this one, I should bring my mama up here and say, Mama, I don't know if my mama wants to talk in public. She's not a public speaker. But my mom thinks that she's this girl's number 3 fan. And we only say number 3 because her parents by default get 1 and 2. All right, so me and my mother always argue, and maybe JL too. I was like, JL, who's your favorite 530 scholar? And she was like, I was like, who's the most impressive? And it was two people she always would name. The Grim Reaper is trying to change that narrative, but the two people that JL would name is Ariel and Janan, actually. She would always say Janan and Ariel. Ariel, the GOAT, nickname is the GOAT because she has been dominating her whole course through 530 since the seventh grade. We knew she was going to be great. For most of her time at Kenwood, she was ranked number one at Kenwood. Junior year was coming. And I was like, Nick, we can't teach Ariel anything else. She knows it all. It's time for us to just go ahead and take the ACT. Junior year, mind you, not senior year, but junior year. Ariel went in there, the beginning of the year, scored a 33 on the ACT. We call that the Scottie Pippen. All right, you scored the Scottie Pippen on the ACT. And if you thought that was something, the young lady turned around a few months later and scored a 15-20 on the SAT. She got a full ride to MIT. She never looked back. Now she is one of our instructors. So she has run the whole gambit, and now she gives back by teaching other scholars how to do what she did. All right, and Ariel, you already know how I feel about you. All right. And she's just awesome individual. She knits. She brought me this magazine last week, crochet, and her crochet creation was on the front page of the magazine. So she just dominates in everything. She probably can bowl. I bet you she knows karate. All right, Ariel is just fantastic. She said she's not doing this. Y'all know jujitsu. All right, Ariel. All right, so we don't have a gift certificate for you, but we got $100. All right, $100 Amazon gift certificate. No certificate. All right, so we save the trees and we give out the paper. You feel me? All right, so is Jackson here today? All right, so Siobhan, come up here and receive this on behalf of Jackson. So Jackson Dowdell, actually, I'm gonna let her mom make her way up here so y'all can see this outfit. She was saving it, you know what I'm saying? but times such as these, we said we're gonna have a gala. She said, say less. Boom. All right. Any other questions? All right, no questions. All right, so let's proceed. So Jackson came to, and she was already brilliant. I ain't gonna even lie. Sometimes people try to take credit for people's brilliance. So Jackson was already brilliant. So I gave her a practice SAT, and she scored like a 1390. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. I said, all right. So now we're just like, take it again. Go ahead and get your 1400. I don't know what I'm gonna do for those 10 points because that's all you need. But let's start working on the scholarship applications, and let's just start getting straight to the money. Jackson went to school this year and was just impeccable. She got a full ride to USC, University of South Carolina, California, Southern California, USC, University of Southern California, right? One of my friends down there is one of the people on the scholarship panel, and she always calls me and tell me how dope Jackson is, and I say, I already know. Why are you telling me what I already know? So she's the president of the
Mr. Black is a fat black student down there. She's the president of. She had a meeting today. No, but she had a meeting today. And I was like, president. She ruled the meeting. She got everything they needed for next year. Faith actually called her. And she was like, all the other school organizations, they've gotten everything in. Jackson doesn't have control over all of the things that she needs, like the bank account or the vows from last year. She came home about 2 weeks ago. She has gotten every event, every budget, everything that she needs to turn into faith this week for the entire school year. So, yeah.
She's her mama's child. And her mom's on the board at 5:30. She's our treasurer, so Jackson is going to get the money right. All right, so speaking of money, we don't have to pay the certificate, but we have $100 Amazon gift certificate for Jackson. All right, so thank you. And Jackson is dope. All right, so those are our scholars, and now we have some more math magicians. So for the next math magician, we have Stevie Mitchell. Y'all give it up for Stevie Mitchell. All right, so we don't have a display, so we're going to add a little extra degree of difficulty. I'm going to be here to verify that his answers are correct. And y'all keep us honest to other math participants in the room. So Stevie's going to factor polynomials, all right? In his head, with no display. So let's just do it. You ready? All right, Stevie's nervous. He's not nervous, he's Stevie. Let's get it. All right, x squared plus 15x plus 56.
X positive 8 and x positive 7. X equals negative 8 and x equals negative 7.
That is correct. All right. All right. So if I had the equation x squared plus 16x plus 64, what would be the solution set?
X plus, wait, could you repeat the equation?
Yep. So we need a battery in this. So it's x squared plus 16x plus 64.
X positive 8, x positive 8, x equals negative 8, and x equals negative 8.
That is correct. All right. One more. We're going to do the difference of squares. He might bring it. All right, x squared minus 49.
X and positive 7, and then x and negative 7. X equals positive 7, x equals negative 7.
Mic drop. All right, thank you. All right. So what we doing? All right, so we want to announce in this room today, if you notice that all the SAT participants or the awardees, all the people we give props to were like young ladies. That was by design. When we wanted to start a program that was just like the Born Supremacy Elite Hit Squad Scholars, and we had all these young women who I noticed were in classes, and we were just moving slow, and they were like, come on, man, challenge me, like, come on. So we put them all together, and we created this program called Black Ivy. So these are all Black girls who are Ivy League level academically. So that's Alyssa, JL, Janine, Jasmine. Do we have any other Black? Christina. Stand up, Black Ivy. Stand up, Black Ivy. All right. And every week we do SAT prep and mindset training. All right, and we go over these topics during mindset training. All right, so what's your favorite topic? Yeah, that we went over. From my bestseller book. What's your favorite topic? Oh! All right, everybody think of their topic. Let's go. Yeah, your favorite. One. She's like, they're really not that good. So, so we have stand on the scale, sweep the snow. All right. So pick one. Come on. This is like TV here. Live TV. They're waiting on us. All right. Stand on the scale. All right. So I wanted her to say that because when you say the world will wait, right? And when they do, you gotta be heavy enough. All right. So she messing up my line. That's my daughter. It be your own people. All right. All right. So you got a favorite? Anybody else want to share a favorite? One more favorite. One more favorite lesson. They said no. Nobody wants to share their favorite lesson. All right, my favorite lesson. See these introverted geniuses here. All right, so my favorite other lesson is when you get on a plane. What do they tell you when you get on your plane? That's right. Put on your seatbelt first. All right, so that's one of the lessons that we went over last week. Because when you are talented and you are gifted, your family often looks to you, right? Everybody looks to you to save them, right? But if you can't save yourself, then you can't save them, right? So when you get on the plane, you buckle your seatbelt first, all right? Oh, no, that's not even the rule. See, you put on your air mask first. When you get on the plane, you put on your air mask first. I was wondering why Karen Jordan was back there looking at me like, I don't know if that's the lesson. All right, so when you get on the plane, you put on your air mask first, because if you pass out, right, then you can't save nobody else. All right, so we bring it back, MJ. I'm so glad to see you. Let's get it.
You all, today I'm super excited for this conversation. Today we have two very powerful individuals who are geniuses in their own right. Today we have Sylvia Jones. She's a writer and producer of Stars, Power Book 4, Force, Showtime's The Shy, and the list goes on and on. I can't even name it all. We also have Karen Jordan. And Karen Jordan, she is the co-anchor. Come on, give it up for her. Karen Jordan is the co-anchor of the #1 newscast in Chicago, ABC 7 Weekend News. And look, y'all, one thing that really stood out to me, right, when I was reading the bio, is Sylvia Jones is a Stanford graduate. And we also have Karen Jordan, who's a Spelman graduate. Can we give it up for that? Today, they're going to be talking about the importance of education and how education propelled them in their career. And not only that, but they'll be talking about how you can tap into that genius and unleash that genius that we know lies within each of us. So can y'all help me in welcoming Sylvia Jones and Karen Jordan one more time? Let's go, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. You know, I don't know how many of you know that Sylvia and I used to work together at ABC 7 before she took her leap of faith into greatness in Hollywood. What year was this? So when did you describe? So, okay, just to set the scene, Sylvia was and she could of course explain it more, she was a segment producer, special projects producer. And what would you do?
I would do all of the things that special. My job encompasses a number of things. I would go out just day to day and field produce stories. It could be fire, it could be a murder, it could be any of the things that you see on. And I would work with one of our news anchors to put together the story. I also would be the person who would spearhead any major initiative or a statewide initiative or nationwide coverage of big major events. I'd be the person who coordinate all of the photographers and the reporters and graphics people and all of that to get our look together.
And so Sylvia was doing this, and she was the go-to person in our newsroom because we knew that Sylvia had great ideas, could make things happen, had the contacts, had the tenacity to put together really meaningful, impactful stories. And then in 2016, she broke the news to our newsroom that she was going to leave.
Yeah, it was something that I had been thinking about for a while. It was a college dream, and representing chocolate cardinals today, just had to point that out. It was, when I went to college, I secretly wanted to be a TV writer, but I had no path forward. I didn't know anybody who was a writer. I didn't know anybody who was working in Hollywood. That felt like something for other people, not the little girl from the South Side of Chicago. It just didn't seem right. And I always thought journalism was more academic, and I could do academics. Fool that I was. I didn't realize that journalism was just as hard, but I just kind of tucked that dream away and pursued journalism. Do not regret a day of it because I had an amazing career as a journalist. But
won many awards, shall we say? Emmy Award winning, Murrow Award.
Yeah, Murrow, Emmy Award. And I just got to a point, I had gone through a lot of personal issues and so forth. I got to a point where I just started wondering what else was there. It's like you only get one life to live. You only really get one time on this planet. And I want to do it all, And so I just thought, I was afraid. I let fear stop me when I was young. So I was like, well, why not? What's the worst that could happen is I could fail. Or I could work my behind off and do just as well over here as I did in journalism. And so I kind of, because I am a lifelong learner, I am an academic, I still didn't just quit and go to LA and, just try to do it. I applied to school, went back to school in my 40s, got accepted at UCLA, and I told myself, if I got accepted into this program, which was a very elite program, then I was going to chuck it all. I was going to quit my job, leave Chicago, do the whole bit. And I was going to go. I wasn't going to do it online. It was everything I had to do. I'm going to leave and go to LA and go to UCLA and do this program. And 2 weeks before it was time for school to start, I got my acceptance letter. And I had to make a real decision about whether I was going to let defer my dream for that much longer, if I was going to put my money where my mouth was. So I surprised everybody and quit and moved to LA.
I mean, jaws dropped, but I think everyone secretly was rooting for you, and not so secretly, because we wanted you to succeed, and we want good things to come to good people. And to see your credits, to watch the TV shows like The Chi, and then the Clark sisters biopic, you own that. All courtesy with lending your wonderful talents to those shows and Power of Force.
That's we got some fans out here. I like that.
Yes. But like you said, it's one thing to have the dream. What did it take for you to really get your foot in the door?
Well, prayer and tenacity. Those would be the top two things that I would say. I went about it with the same, I tell people I produced my way into it. I went about it the same way I attack everything. I studied. I worked extremely hard. My motto is, you're not gonna outwork me. Like you might be smarter, you might be faster, you might be cuter. You're not gonna outwork me. I'm gonna show up early, I'm gonna stay late, I'm gonna do whatever it is that I need to do. And so that's kind of what I did. I was in school, and it was school. There was no job attached at the end of the tunnel. And people were telling me, well, all you have to do is just break in. And once you break in, you'll be fine. And I was like, well, how do I do that? Do I, take my crowbar? Like, what do I do? And so I literally started talking to everybody I possibly could. Everybody's, cousin's friend who moved to LA 5 years ago, and anybody. I also started trying to network with anybody who was associated with ABC. I used what I had, even though these people didn't know me from Adam, they were in Burbank and I had been in Chicago. I worked that as hard as I possibly could. I landed my first job as a production assistant on a show called Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. It was on CBS lot. They shot on the CBS lot, and I was so excited. Granted, I was nowhere near a writer's room because I worked in props. I was the person who, brought things to the set and that kind of thing, bought things on Amazon for the show, that kind of thing. But it was my first time on a real studio lot. I was with people on headsets and, they were looking busy and so forth. I was like, oh my God, I'm living a dream. This is what I came out here. It didn't matter that I was making $11 an hour, which was a far jump from what I was making at ABC 7 in Chicago. But it was one of those things that I was like, it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice, You don't always start at the top. My attitude was, it's fine. I don't mind starting at the bottom because once I get my foot in the door, you can't push me back out.
No.
Like, I'm gonna keep running. Just let me get my toe, just my toe. I'll stump the rest of the way. I'll get in there. And that's kind of what happened. That show was wrapping, I reached out to the showrunner, who was the head writer on the show, and asked for a meeting. He gave me one. It turned out his next job was going to be running a show called The Shy, which wasn't a thing at the time. I'm like, The Shy? And I'm like, as in Chicago? And he's like, yeah, it's this gritty urban drama, set on the south side of Chicago. And we're a bunch of writers here in LA. We need people who know Chicago. I'm like, I got you.
I got that.
You on Chicago. You're not going out Chicago. Okay? And so
Thank you.
I got hired. I wanted to be a writer, but they were like, no. Writer's assistant. Now I'm going to tell you, Cam, there were many people who said to me, why are you taking all of these assistant jobs? You're this, you're that, you won this award. No. Sometimes you have to start at the bottom. Sometimes you have to have a little humility. Sometimes you have to show them what you can do rather than tell them. Just let me in. That's all you're doing. Just let me in. I'll show you what I can do. I came in as the writer's assistant. Before I knew it, I had written an episode, got my first credit, as well as worked on set and been right on set for like 3 episodes. Wow. That's amazing.
But you actually bring up a really interesting point that you relied on your intelligence, you tapped into your genius, but you also knew it was important in this moment to maintain your humility. And looking around at these beautiful young boys and girls who are so smart, I mean, they can do math circles around me right now.
Quadrant
and what was it?
Polynomials. Yeah.
I mean, I should ask Cyrus. If I count by twos, can I get my Amazon gift card?
Stop me at 20.
But what should these young people keep in mind going forward when they want to make their mark in the world?
Well, one thing that I say to people, I almost always mention that, I tend to show humility. And there are people who assume that humility means low self-confidence or not being willing to tell people you're smart. No, it's not that at all. It's meaning that when you can show and prove, you don't have to brag. You can just be, you show up and it's undeniable. What we saw in this room tonight, that's undeniable. I mean, you can't look at any of these children and say they aren't geniuses, they aren't going places. Just put them in the room, And so I think they're getting all of the ingredients. They're getting the training. They have the smarts. They know how to carry themselves. They just, coach put me in. And I think that they will go far. Coach put me in.
Is there one path that is more direct, meaning type of school, type of college, or is there no formula to success? It just kind of depends. Each person is different and You know, is there a different way for each person?
I think it's a little bit of both. I would never tell anybody that there's a straight way. There's one way. You do it this way or it's the wrong way. Because everybody is different, and what works for one may not work for all. What I would say is go for what is the best for you. That your college approach. If your plan is to study business, you want to go with the school that has the best business school, that has the best area of study for business. The liberal arts college may not be the best for you. If you are a person who you want to do theater, maybe you want to make sure you find a school that has the best theater arts program. So I say, know thyself, and to thine own self be true. Once you know yourself, you know what you need. And then you do what you need to do to get that. And also surround yourself with other people who are like-minded. Iron truly does sharpen iron. It really does. Wood doesn't. So keep yourself away from the wood. Iron sharpens iron. Stay with other people who are like-minded, who are going in the same direction that you are. I was just at a graduation on Saturday for Providence St. Mill. Shout out to Maya Milagro. And geniuses. And I was talking to someone and they were asking me about, cutting class and that kind of thing. And I said, I never cut class in school. And it's not because I was just perfectly buttoned up, whatever. It's because that wasn't the culture. I would have cut class by myself. I would have been smoking in the bathroom by myself. That's not fun. My friends weren't doing that. My friends were in class. My friends were getting A's. My friends were looking to see what college they were going to. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded and are doing the same things that you are. You won't feel like you're out of the norm when everybody is doing the right thing. Iron sharpens iron.
Love that. And now you're in a position to give back and give your knowledge and experience. Kind of talk about your writers symposium that you have.
I decided to do a writers retreat and workshop. Last year was the first year we did it by popular demand. This year I'm doing it a second year. And it's because I have so many, I can't tell you, Karen, from the time that I left, if I had $1 for every DM that I got from somebody saying, that's my secret dream, or I really, I went to film school, or I wanted to go to film school, or, I'm thinking about making a documentary, or I got a book idea. Oh my goodness, I got a film idea. I don't know where to start. And so I would give so much time to people, sitting just trying to talk to them about their idea. And they would be so grateful, but I'm like, I need to figure out how to take this to scale. And so I started doing last summer this fun weekend where people who have the desire to be writers or have books and want to see their book come to life on the screen, come together for a weekend. Again, like-minded. We have a tribe of people who are all looking to do the same thing. And I tell people I specialize in stupid questions. So this is the place that you come where it's warm, where it's nurturing, and you find out all of those things that you didn't even know you were supposed to ask. So this summer is at the Radisson Blue Aqua right downtown, October 24th through 27th. And it'll be a 4-day weekend that we'll have a fireworks cruise on Lake August. Did I say October? Good Lord. August. I'm skipping ahead. It's August 24th through 27th. Thank you so much for correcting me on that. We're looking forward to being on Lake Michigan, doing a fireworks cruise, all of that kind of stuff. We're going to have a good time.
Wonderful. And that's really important too. And that also keeps up your chops in a way too.
Absolutely.
You're kind of this full circle moment. Being able to discuss your knowledge and maybe learn things from people who have their own ideas and suggestions, and you can kind of help guide them as well.
Of course. It's a give and take. We all give to each other. I mean, there's room for all of us on the porch, I mean, again, I can't say enough. Iron sharpens iron. I stress having a tribe, having people around you who understand you, who get you, and who want to do what you want to do. And I'm going to tell you, for this particular path, this path that is not certain, this path that is Hollywood, this path that your family's going to be like, you sure you gonna quit that good job and go to LA? You got to have a certain type of something inside you, and it's helpful to be around other people who are like, yeah, I got that same itch. I got that same itch. It drives you. It drives you.
Are you based in LA or Chicago?
A little bit of both. I was primarily in LA. I was splitting my time, and then the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, I started spending more time in Chicago, less time in LA, because I've been on 3 different shows. I've been in 3 different writers' rooms since the pandemic started, and all of them have been on Zoom. And because Chicago is my favorite city in the entire world, I figure if I can be anywhere sitting inside in front of a computer, guess where I'm going to be? They can have their palm trees.
Right. And I mean, I'm just looking around, and I'm just still in awe that these parents must have seen something in their children at an early age to even get them on this path. And how important is it to have your tribe, your support system, those people who will sort of keep you going and build you up when maybe you start to doubt yourself?
It's critical. It's critical. And I say this, I mean, it is so, I know these kids in here, we saw some of the parents come up here who are just beaming. Sometimes we have to reach a little wider and look in places that we wouldn't ordinarily expect to look in order to find the people who are going to be the people who are for us. So I say to you, be open, be open to people who you may not have expected to be the ones to support you. And also don't be surprised if the ones who you expected don't. Because that happens too, and that's disappointing, and that's a part of life. And, it hurts to get kicked in the teeth by people who you love. But, like the t-shirt says, I'm not for everybody. So, so you have to figure that out. So just be very discerning and figure out who it is that, you don't want somebody that's going to kick you when you're already down. And there will be down days. It's not all, rainbows and sunshines. So there will be down days. Find the person who's going to say, hey, let's work this out. Let's help you up. Let's move you along. And there are those people out there. Find them, cherish them, hold them dear, never let them go.
And that's absolutely true. And, I am so glad to be part of this right now, because for me personally, just this sort of fills my soul, seeing these young people do good things, being just smart and, with so much potential. Because how often did we have to do stories that were just so sad, just people behaving badly, just crime, all sorts of grime. If it bleeds, it leads.
Exactly.
And I just hope, now if there's a way to just bottle this moment and to keep them going forward, I want to come back and see them graduate from high school top of their class, college top of their class. But what are those things, how can they overcome the hurdles that may keep them, that may make things difficult for them, despite the fact that they're so intelligent?
Well, it's all of those things that we've discussed. It's having those people around you. I personally have a strong faith, and if you don't have one, I recommend you get one, because it can sustain you, it can ground you, it can lead you in the right direction. I can tell you this one thing: genius is a great label. It's also, what's the saying? Heavy is the hand who wears the crown, or something. It can be a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to be the light all the time. And so I say each person has to find whatever that thing is in them that, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. sometimes you have to, dig a little deeper and sometimes you gotta come out of the game and say, okay, all right, life punched me. All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this L. But guess what? You come back swinging. Find whoever that person is who's gonna, spray the proverbial water in your face and say, come on, you gotta get around. Because you gotta go. You can't afford not to go. You can get kicked, you're gonna get kicked. You can't afford to just get knocked out. You can't. You have to be the light. You talk about all of those stories that we cover, unfortunately, and I'm so glad to see ABC7's camera here. I'm so glad to see that it is here because these children deserve to be on television. They deserve to be recognized. They deserve to see this is what's happening with our city. It's not just people, we can have it. We have there is greatness within us, greatness among us. And that's a big cross to carry. But guess what? It's a great cross to carry. It really is. So I say kudos to all of these young students. And I can't wait to see what great things they're going to do. And maybe one of them will hire me or something somewhere.
Is there anything else? I don't know. Are we opening up questions or? Okay. Let's see. Does anyone have a question for our wonderful Sylvia Jones? Anything? Anybody? Oh, yes, that's here. Let me grab the microphone.
Hello, how you doing? My question is, do you use any of your experiences of living in Chicago in your writing?
All the time. All the time. Even when you don't know I'm using it, I'm using it.
Yes.
And it's not just Chicago, it's all of my experiences, period. That's what makes writers unique in that a little bit of you comes out in all kinds of things. I'll give you, obviously, The Shy was kind of a no-brainer because, I grew up on the South Side, and so, there are a lot of, things that would just come out, whether it's natural, the guys do this, they do that. The Forest, natural. The Clark sisters, it wasn't just Chicago. I had lived in Detroit for a while, as the Clark sisters did, but one of the things that really resonated with me was the fact that they had a single mother. It was 5 sisters. Mom was, kept them in church all the time. It's, the Holy Ghost of hell. It's all of this stuff. And it's like, I was one of 4 girls, basically single mom, holiness of hell. You're gonna be in Sunday. It was like, so I was able to pull out a whole lot of my own experience in writing that biopic. And no, it didn't, you wouldn't have known necessarily what those things are, but because of my experience, I knew the right questions to ask the sisters. Just even about their dynamic as sisters, I have 3 sisters. I know which one I can tell a secret or who will hold it. I know who's gonna run back and tell. I know who's gonna be right up under our mother and try to get all the brownie points. Who shared a room with each other when they were kids. All of those things because of my experience in a house full of girls. I knew which questions to ask them to elicit the right answers to help me get good stuff for the biopic. And they would repeatedly tell me, "Oh my God, I've done a million interviews and no one has ever asked me that." It was because I was using my own experience. So it happens in everything all the time in different ways.
As a writer, how do you know if your writing is good? Like, who do you actually either show it to or get feedback from to make sure you have an actual good story? Because sometimes you write something and you think, oh, this is the best thing ever, and then you get feedback and it's not. So how do you know when it's good?
2 ways. First, there's a feeling you get. I'll quote Oprah Winfrey when she says, "When in doubt, don't." And so if there's something about the work that's telling you, is this good? It's probably not. And I don't mean that to sound callous, but I'm saying there's probably an issue with it. If you are getting that feeling, that's the first thing. But secondly, you do want to talk to other people. Start with your peers, and then start with people who you don't have necessarily a relationship with, who maybe have a little bit more experience and aren't going to just tell you, oh yes, it's great, because they don't want to hurt your feelings. It might very well be great, but if there are some issues, those people will tell you. Now, one thing I will advise you of, a lot of times people don't necessarily know how to give notes. They might not know how to tell you to fix it. And that is really the challenge in telling you how to fix it. They just might say, I don't like it when she does this, when your character does that. Or I don't, this it's seeming like the ending is, ugh. That's not a thing. How you know how to tell somebody that, and so it may be a challenge to figure it out. But one thing I will say about taking notes, if somebody is giving you a response that is just a little off, don't be so defensive that you can't hear it. Take that as an idea to keep writing. And I'll tell you, writing is rewriting. Don't expect that the first pass is going to be perfection. It probably won't. It may be the 8th, 9th, or 10th pass before it's like, now this is good.
That was a great segue into, I wanted to ask about your screenwriting process. When you're doing the screenplay writing, do you work with the technical straight on, or do you lump it all together as one story and then go and pick it apart? Is it a process that you do with somebody, or stop me when I've said enough?
I'm gonna try to answer. You got me with the technical. Are you talking about just how do I write a script? Okay, all right, let's do that. Well, it depends, two different ways. Whether I'm working for hire or whether I'm working for myself. And with myself, I typically first will figure out my story. I'll write a beat sheet, which is basically a list of every single thing that I think is going to happen, just as a short phrase. Then I'll write an outline, which is basically a narrative form of what the script is going to be. The reason for writing those two steps is that you figure out if there are problems with your story, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know how to end, if you run into an issue where one character is supposed to be one place but he's someplace else, you run into those issues first. And then after you have that worked out, you write your script. I like to sit alone in my at my desk. I'm not a person who can curl up on the couch with my laptop or anything. I like to have music going. I like to write early in the morning before the world wakes up. That's what I do in my free time. When I'm working in a writer's room, typically a writer's room is set up so that you have free thought with a group of people and a showrunner who is the head writer, who will basically say yes to this idea, no to that idea. This idea is okay, who can help it out? And after we as a group come up with what's going to happen in a certain episode, then you go and write based on what the group has decided. Okay,
That helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay, I'll see you at the retreat, August 24th through 27th. Next one, SylviaLJones.com.
That's right, get it. Well, hello, and thank you both for being here. My question is basically, how did you know, it's for you, how did you know you wanted to go into journalism? And it's two parts. And once you knew you wanted to be a journalist, what were the steps or any tips you can give any aspiring journalists here?
No, absolutely, that's a good question. I did know when I was in high school, Evanston Township High School, hey, shout out, Evanston in the house, that I wanted to get into journalism, but I also knew that I wanted to go to an HBCU that did not have a journalism major. So, and just because I was asking you, about your plotting, your education. So I thought, okay, I want to go to Spelman. What I can do is be an English major, sort of get my foundation in writing, and then pursue a master's degree in journalism, hopefully. And so that's what I did. I went to Northwestern to Medill School of Journalism, got my master's there in broadcast. So that was my path. And that was the Northwestern experience helped me really get my foot in the door with reporting. It kind of taught me a whole different way of writing. You know, English, we're writing term papers and using punctuation and long sentences and sophisticated language. Journalism, it was very much more conversational, short sentences. And then just the process of asking questions and trying to get to the truth, asking one side a question, asking another side, and then just trying to just tell the story. And at that point, when I was in school many, many years ago, it was a much more straightforward process. Just the facts, the who, what, why, when, where. And I also wanted to, start at a small city market size, as they were called. And so I was able to start in Rockford, Illinois. Was there a year and a half as a reporter, was able to make a lot of mistakes, because that's what you have to do, and I multitasked. I was not just a reporter. Some days they threw me in to be a producer because the producer called out sick. I had to do all sorts of things. So you get a lot of experience, you learn to be very resourceful, got to make the cold calls, got to call up people, try to get information. From Rockford, went to Dayton, Ohio, where I was weekend anchor there for 3.5 years. Then went to Philadelphia, weekend anchor there, and then here to Chicago, where I'm also weekend anchor. So there's been a trend. But yeah, they were fortunate to come back to my hometown in 2003, and I've been here ever since. So, and it has been wonderful, because there is no place like Chicago.
Thank you. And we have one last question. And before we get to that question, I just want to add to it. I did exactly the same thing. The school that I knew I was going to do journalism, but my school didn't have journalism either. And I knew that I was going to have to go and get a master's. So I did Stanford undergrad and then went to Northwestern Medill for journalism school. I got all of that same experience. That's exactly right. You have to know where to go, though.
Okay, I have a quick question for both of you guys. Ladies, I'm sorry. I know it sounds weird, but Ms. Jordan, as far as newscasters go, the inflection in their voice, is that something that they make you guys do? Not you personally, but I'm just saying, like, because nobody has their own style of inflection. Like every newscaster has a certain type. Is that something that they make you guys stick to?
There's no formula, and you hear that a lot as a broadcast reporter, because you feel the need to, when you're reading a script, you want to sound conversational, but you still want to emphasize certain things. You want to make sure that you sort of hit the point in each sentence, like, this is the nugget. So it could be that there is that typical broadcast talk. Maybe some people have it. Oh, and I know when you start off as a cover reporter, like brand new, it is very much that. It's very, because you feel, it's like you're ingrained. You see it on TV. You see these TV portrayals of journalists with that very same voice, broadcaster voice. And then you just try to make it more your own as you get more comfortable and you listen to yourself, when you listen to your voice, actually. Because I didn't really used to do that until I was in the business. I didn't that's what my voice sounded like. And so you just have to sort of, I think it's important to strike a balance with sounding like yourself. And if you just talk regularly, like, there's somebody stole a car the other day and carjacked somebody. And then, like, if you're going to talk like that on the news, people are like, what happened? So you want to try to emphasize what you're saying so that it's not too forced. So there is, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Kind of. Miss Jones, what's your favorite movie? Sorry, that's it. That's all. Thank you.
The Fox Sisters First Lady.
Good.
Give it up one more time. Give it up one more time. Look, I got a special gift for the both of y'all, okay? We got the luckiest. So, 530 scholars for you. Come on. And then not only that, we got the 530 scholars official Genius T. Hold on, I got you.
Yeah. Hold on, it ain't no. Oh, that's a little crop. That's a little crop.
Karen Jordan. So we were talking on the board about who we would bring here, and we had to bring somebody that everybody knew, who had like the status where people just respect their scholarly and just like debonair and just like black excellence in Chicago. And so people named some names, and I won't name the names, but you know they like CNN anchors and you know just like real high level people, you know. And I was like, I got one better than that. And they was like, who? And I was like, Karen Jordan. And they was like, you think we can get her? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell her it's for Caleb. All right? So if y'all don't know, the 530 Scholars actually started a few months before Caleb went viral for reading 100 books in a day. And Karen Jordan was the one who broke that story. And that story for like a few weeks was one of the top stories in the country. I mean, we had people in Mexico texting us, we in the cab in Mexico, and Caleb is on the screen. It was on the Shade Room, it was on CNN, Anderson Cooper did a special on it, but Karen broke that story. And ever since she broke that story, every time she saw Caleb, when he was small, Caleb was a little bit too big now, right? Yeah. So Caleb would just run up to her and just hug her, and then she'd pick Caleb up and walk around with him. And she just always has been supportive of our scholars. We were at the Bud Billiken Parade. It was like thousands of people. And then one of the parents was like, there's Karen Jordan. So he ran over and he was like, Caleb's here. And she was like, where he's at? And then she went and interviewed him in the crowd. So she always comes through and represents for us. And thank you. So y'all give it up. We actually got her to do it. Y'all give it up for the board. So thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. And she brought a cameraman and everything. So we have some more things. We have a math magician coming up that's gonna do the area of triangles. We have some thank yous that we want to do. But first, we want to just thank all of you for coming out. All right, so we have the highlight of this event is coming up. So everybody pull out your phones because this is huge. It's the highlight of the event. So everybody put up your phones. It's like a Prince concert. Wave it in the air. Pull out your phones. Everybody want to see your phones? All right. Go to the camera on your phone. And normally we would just say everybody just go live. But we want y'all to go live on those donations. So you see this, you see these barcodes right here? All right, so you're gonna scan that barcode. You're gonna donate to the 530 Scholars Genius League. We are at $10,000 right now. Or right next to 10,000. Our goal is 20,000. So really we're at like 9,500. Our goal is $20,000. Oh, we're at $10,000 right now. Our goal is $20,000 for the Genius League. The Genius League is this academic, like NCAA style math tournament. If you guys have seen this tournament, it is the most incredible thing you have ever seen. In fact, if you look in that window, you see how them kids are like, forget that. We want to go in that room and do some math. I want to play some hit the butt so I can whoop some people in doubles. And it's just like a 64 player thing. First we start with like 300 kids. They come in and they compete for 64 slots. Then they go head to head like the NCAA March Madness tournament. And then we have one winner. And you see these banners, those are the people who have won. And so each year we have over 2,000 kids compete in our Genius League tournaments. And we have just been doing this off of the donations of our board members, right? And it's been a great thing that our board members have stepped up. So thank y'all. Y'all thank them because they can give me their money. Yeah! All right, so we want to make sure that we are all doing our part to support our scholars because your kids can absolutely be in the Genius League, but we have to raise money so that we can continue to do them. All right, want to have some remarks. So I see some principals in this room. So I have a principal, and I am always going to put her on the spot. Ms. Badu from Aldridge. She is the principal of a school in Argyle Gardens. She brought us in to help change the culture of the school, or to help enhance, not even change, because it was already an awesome culture. And those kids got so excited about the tournaments. She had one in her school. She's gonna have another one in her school. And this year, those kids in the garden, her motto is everything grows in the gardens. All right, Argyle Gardens, those of you who don't know, it's on the far south side. It's a housing development, CHA housing development. Everybody that I've met in there is absolutely awesome. You know, that's like one of our bases. And her school won first place in the last Genius League tournament. And there were a lot of awesome schools in that tournament, but those kids did their thing. So we want to just bring Ms. Badu up here for some comments. Just talk about the Genius League, the importance. Karen Jordan just smiling. She's like, when can I leave? She's like, is it time yet? I don't know. I was trying to figure out like a good time too. But Ms. Badu, we want to have you give comments, followed by Principal Spicer from Brownsville. Her school won first place in the tournament before that. So we want the principals to just tell y'all the importance of the work that we do together. And then Bank of America, we have a vice president, but she's like, we got the vice president of Bank of America, one of the vice presidents of Bank of America here, and him and his son is going to talk about the importance of academic excellence. And then we're going to have a math magician. closing remarks, and we're gonna get out of here. All right, right now.
Hello, everyone. I am Mrs. Afua Adjunct Badu, the proud principal of Aldridge Elementary School in Oakdale Gardens. This school year, we had the privilege of bringing 530 scholars. It actually happened because we needed to create a plan for our students in the absence of their middle school math teacher. And so in doing that, we were able to supplement their math instruction with the high quality instruction that was brought to us by Silas and the organization. Not only did it build their skills in math, but it built their confidence in math. Our tournament was amazing. Our scholars were excited and encouraged around all of the things that they learned throughout that time with Silas and 530 scholars. And then we had the opportunity to compete at the Pullman Center, and it was phenomenal. I think we had maybe like 10 to 15 students that made it in the top 25 for that event. And I'm just proud of them, and I'm proud of the things that we are beginning to do with the work of Genius League, with the work of Silas, and with the work of 530 Scholars. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to us being able to do this work again next school year. And I want my scholars to be some of the students that have these high SAT scores and high ACT scores and are competing with students across the city of Chicago and beyond. So thank you all so much for all that you're doing and all that you continue to do for the children of the city of Chicago. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Principal Badu. Principal Spicer reads a special invitation to come up with it. I already see it. Who's next? You know what I mean? Come on up here, Principal Spicer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity just to speak one more time. I wanted to say just something special about 530 Scholars and the partnership that we have with Silas. I am honored to lead the school across the street, which is Bronzeville Classical School. We are a newer school. We've only been a school for 5 years. But part of that experience was really thinking about how can we unleash our genius on the south side of Chicago? Because as you know, there were not many wall-to-wall selective enrollment schools on the south side. Our students were leaving our communities to go on the north side, west side, different parts of the city, and taking their genius with them. So when I was faced with the opportunity of opening this school and thinking about the value that we could add to this community, Silas didn't even give me a chance to reach out to him, but he reached out to me because he was going to entrust me with his greatest asset, or one of his greatest assets, which is Caleb. And so his goals for Caleb were just out of this world, super high expectations. I was just like, this parent is intense. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But he really just helped me think about the possibilities and really think innovatively, creatively, and how we really could take our school to the next level. What I appreciate the most about 530 Scholars is, you know, we get all excited about cheerleading, sports, basketball, baseball, all the things, but our kids are so much more than that. Getting them excited about academics and being scholars was really new and different, I think. And so to bring that competitive atmosphere to academics to our school was a game changer. So I'm excited that our kids are going to the Math Masters and killing it. Principal Badu, I heard that your school only won because we wasn't there. That was a testing day. So it may have to be a rematch next year to see who can battle it out. But I just wanted to say thank you to Silas for really bringing this opportunity to our school community. And a smaller shout out to, and I'll emphasize on smaller, to Mr. Mitchell. He is the owner of this co-working space that we have this great opportunity for our students. We have a tiny building across the street. We started offering this as an after-school program. When we kind of ran out of space, we had an opportunity to partner with Hash 41. So I'm really excited that we continue to be able to offer this experience for our students, even though we have space challenges. So thank you again for giving me an opportunity to just share about our partnership with 530 Scholars, and we look forward to a great partnership moving forward.
Thank you. As you can see, we have so many great partners that are part of the community and the tribe that helps unleash the genius within our children. We want you to continue to be a part of the solution. We know that we lack resources in our communities, but we need to be the resources instead of waiting for the resources. And this is no pun, but I'm going to call up next Mr. Johnny Wilbon, VP at Bank of America. Not because he got money, but because he's a great partner of the organization. So I want to pass the mic to him and let him say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing? It's great to see everyone here, especially the parents. I know it's past 5:30. Everyone is like, I'm ready to go home. Okay, from work. But thank you so much again. Like the young lady said, I'm Johnny Wilbon. I'm the Vice President, Small Business Community for Bank of America. 26 is my roles in the country, and I'm one of 6. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about what we do as far as parents and how we help educate our children. I think this is a great example of what we do. A broad example for this is my son, Jaden Wilbon, who is in college now. He is a STEM student, and just talking about the experience of how we cultivated father and son, make sure that his education was top one. And he went through some challenges. He did switch universities, started to swim again in the university, found his passion in swimming, and just discuss how do we overcome some obstacles as far as his education as he was younger, even with just being an African American student in a predominantly white sport and those type of things. So have a seat, Jaden. I guess this is the first time I'm usually a panelist, now this time it's gonna be all you. So just talk a little bit about yourself, what you're currently doing, some things that you're involved in.
My name is Jaden Wilbon. I initially attended Hawaii Pacific University in Hawaii, and I was studying marine biology. And it was nice. I enjoyed the chance to go somewhere and do something outside of myself and just a little bit outside of my community. But I found that being so far made me feel a little disconnected. When I looked around, I didn't see many people who looked like me, and that made me want to come closer to home. And while I study at Monmouth now, and I'm studying in elementary education with a specialization in biology and chemistry, there aren't many faces when you look around and you're in higher education. You don't see many Black and brown faces that look like you. So I think it's important, especially with 530 scholars, that it creates the opportunity for more space. When I look in my classes and even on my team, my swim team, I'm the only Black person. So this gives the opportunity for more people of color in smaller communities to work their way up with more equity.
So Jay, let's talk about even you just growing up as far as understanding that you were advanced as far as your studies, and then we're going to get into the sport, right? So not only that, your color of your skin kind of, can deter you from being a swimmer, but your father was a football player in high school and college, and really wanted a football player for a little while, but realized certain things. So talk about your young experience as far as remembering the first time, just like these students here, like, hey, I may have a gift as far as education because you were in honors and things like that. And then discuss, just the pressure of your dad being high school, college, a high school coach in football. How did you kind of made your own path as far as the communication with me and you?
As far as like my studies go from when I was younger, I will be the first to admit that I'm jealous of all the 530 scholars. This is like, if I had this like opportunity when I was like younger, I would have abused it. Like, this is truly like something beautiful to watch. Like, it's like great to see so many like young people like take so much of their education into their own hands. as far as you being a football player and a football coach and that sports side of things when I was younger, I personally, I hate football. I can't, like, I have three brothers, and they would all play football, and I'd be there sitting in the dirt pulling their grass because I refuse to play football. Like, as hard as my dad tried, there was no way he could get a football in my hands. But it was one summer when he took it upon himself to clean the pool, put it together. He did all the hard work to get a pool, and the moment I touched the water, I was like, I've got to be a swimmer. Like, this is exactly what I know. This is the sport that I want to do. So even though I didn't like follow in the steps of a football player, my dad still cultivated my growth into the sport.
Yeah, I didn't know me buying a pool was going to actually create him. And I think it's just a testament of parents never crush your child's dream, no matter what your dream was before they were born for them. We had a pool in the yard, and I never thought it would be, it's a labor of love, but anyone has a pool in their backyard. But he stayed in it forever, and I realized that, that wasn't his dream, and I had to support what he wanted and not give him what I thought he should want. Thank you. Yeah. And it actually made us closer, right? Because, me supporting that swim dream and really just diving into it and learning a lot about it, actually had him, really dig into it. I'm going to give you guys 5 to 10 more minutes, but I want to talk about the University of Hawaii Pacific that you went to the first year. That was your dream school. Talk to me about, how did you realize that was the school for you and you transitioned over the moment?
So I realized I wanted to go to Hawaii like really early. I wrote an essay about it in 7th grade. I knew that marine biology was something I was like dead set on. I was really like taken away with the environment and how I wanted to help with climate control, and I felt marine biology was a great way to enhance that. And there are the only school that will give you the opportunity for marine biology in Illinois or Indiana is Purdue West Lafayette, and IUB lets you create your own major. But I knew I would have to go somewhere far if I wanted to get into that. So I went away to Hawaii for my first year of college, and I had an internship where I was separating plastic in the ocean, and it was nice. It was great to be able to help the environment in that way, but I felt like I wanted to give back more, and that's why I transitioned toward Monmouth and the education field, because I feel like the first step toward bettering the future is in education. When you can change the way children learn, especially with the way schools and education are nowadays, you can create such a difference in a child's life and their future.
Well, thank you, Jaden. I think the biggest piece we want to make sure we communicate to you guys that we're closing is that as a parent, we see the gift. The only thing we have to do is make sure you allow God and yourself to support the gift, and everything will culminate. I do see a lot of parents here, and I see a lot of gifts happening now. So we want to make sure that we say that to you guys, and congratulations to everyone, including the parents, because we're still out here tonight supporting our children. So thank you so much for allowing us to share our story. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we got a math magician coming up. We got, we're at 10,900. Yeah! Woo! Y'all go ahead and scan those codes. If you have trouble scanning the code, just raise your hand. One of our board members will assist you. All right, so go ahead and scan those codes. Those of you watching us online, go ahead and click that link. Donate to the 530 Scholars Genius League. Oh, it's this new trick. So when you see this code, did you know that you can download this code and you can hit that QR code, and then there's gonna be a little picture that pops up, and you click on that, takes you to the website to donate. Amen. All right. So we got Milton Luda. Where you at, Milton Luda? All right. So Milton Luda is gonna come and he's gonna do the area of triangles. Areas of triangles. All right. So you ready to Milton? Where my mic at? All right. No, they changed it, I thought. Oh, okay. So, Milton, for our first trick, let's kill the music, kill the music, kill the music. First trick, area of a triangle. Right triangle, size 8 and 9. Put the mic up to your mic.
The answer would be 36 because you have it and then you multiply.
All right, so 36. That is correct. That's correct. All right. Area of a triangle, size 12 and 7.
42.
Okay, that is correct. All right, all right. All right, so y'all like, yeah, those are easy. Area of a triangle, 22 and 5.
55.
Oh, so that boy ain't no punk. All right, everybody's like, is that right? It is right. All right, it's absolutely right. All right, so let's do one more. Give me a number. Give me a number. 38. Area triangle, 38 and 2. Yep. 38 and 2. You got it. You got it. Take your time. Work through it. Process it. Pick any number of math position. You can pick the 38 or you can pick the 2. It's 38. All right, there we go. It was like, what? It's 38. All right, good job, man. All right, good job. Y'all give it up for Bill Lulu. All right, so I want to just give some thanks. We are at the end of our program, and I just want to thank all the parents for trusting us with your awesome kids. Want to just thank all the 530 scholars for working hard all the time. Mel Lula is one of our strongest scholars. He's going to be on that banner. He keeps on getting like top 4 every tournament, right? We gave him that second place last time, and he was like, I want the second place trophy, right? He was like, yeah. Like on all the pictures, he's like, nah, I'll wait on that real one. All right, so Bill is coming along. We want to see you on one of those banners, man. We extra proud of you. You can give me the mic back. All right, thank you. All right, so want to thank the parents for trusting us with your awesome kids. Oh, Benjamin, you doing something? Come on. You ain't have on no cake, man. Math magicians with cake, bro. All right, so Benjamin Shikomi, he also has had some top 4 finishes. All right, so Benjamin will be, what will you be doing? Doubling big numbers? All right, so Benjamin will be doubling big numbers. All right, let's see. Double or multiply 530. 1060, all right. Double 1,422. That is correct. Double 32,423. 32423. 32423. 32423. Yes, sir. 32423. You got to see it. 32423. I'm not giving him the answer, guys. I'm showing him the number. 32423.
64,846.
That is correct. All right. Good job, Benjamin. Good job. We want to see you on one of those banners, my friend. All right, so I have one math trick for our audience. Let's see. Double 11,030. Double 11,030. No, not with your mouth, with your wallet. All right, double 11,030 with your wallet. All right. So we want to just thank Hats 41 for hosting us. We want to just thank True Star for supporting us with this media team. All right, so those of you who don't know, this group of young people are this True Star. That's my saying there. I'll be talking all the time. All right, so True Star is a youth-led media organization. So all of these young people are 19 or younger. They don't have to be 19 or younger. They're 24 or younger. But he's old. But everybody else is young. He's like 50. But everybody else is like 19 and younger. And they're running this thing today. They're running video. They're doing the photos. You're going to see how great the photos are on site. So being Trig is what we call them. We train the media team. Charmin trains the podcasting team. Eunice trains the journalism team. And Deanna Sherman, she's the mastermind Professor X that put all this together. All right, so we want to just thank them for always supporting us and writing the dopest articles on all our events. And we just want to thank y'all. I want to thank my board of directors. My board is the dopest board on the planet. All right. So every time I come up with a crazy idea, first they just be like, oh, but then they go 10 toes down and they support me every step of the way. Like I told you, we've had 5 Genius Leagues tournaments, and we got our first donation in December of last year. So all of those other tournaments were funded completely by the board of directors. And when we want to raise money for the kids, like when they score on the real SAT, they get a $1,400. We get them $530. And call me out if I'm making this up. We set the timer for 1 minute, and we raise the money inside the board for those kids. And we say we got 60 seconds to get this kid $530. And we always do it with 20 seconds left on the clock. That's how dedicated the board is to supporting and celebrating these kids. So I just want to thank y'all publicly, because I know I'm gonna get on y'all nerves when I come up with this next idea, because it's a good one. All right, and so just thank you so much. Thank you for my new board member, Stacey Chauncey. I want to really thank the board chair, Maya Green, for doing all the work that she's doing. She's my older sister, one of the dopest doctors in the land. She got her whole squad of doctors on the board. So we got Erica and Audrey on the board. We got Siobhan, we got Eunice. We got my wife, Rhoda Green, on the board. She's like, you wasn't gonna say her name. All right, my mom, Bernita Robinson, on the board. Y'all clap more than that for my mom. All right. I said all right. But I'm gonna say Audrey again, Audrey Cole. She's one of the best doctors in America. All right, and we have an unofficial board member, but she's gonna be official after this, is my other sister, Rashna Green. She's over the food. She runs the camera when we need her. She tutors the kids when we need her. So she's just been all over 530 Scholars, putting up footprints in everything. So wherever we need her, she's there. And last thing that I want to do before I get out of here, and maybe Maya want to make some remarks, I don't know. But we have 2 more scholars I want to recognize. So the first one is part of the Black Ivy. Well, both of them are Black Ivy. So fellas, we need some male representation. So we open up Black Ivy to the men after today. We're opening up Black Ivy to the boys, right? So the girls are like, dang. All right, so now the young men can come on Saturdays and participate in Black Ivy. So the first one, I want to say, Jasmine McGowan. She always comes ready And she also scored top 5% in English and writing and reading on the PSAT. So we got, come on up here. All right, y'all clap for Jasmine. She's quiet. So she's a freshman as well. And she is in the 95th percentile in PSAT. So she's top 5%. So we don't have a certificate, but we got $100 gift card for you. All right, and last, I want Christina to come up here. Jasmine's like, I'm out of here. All right. So Christina is the youngest member of Black Island. And I'm gonna tell a funny story. A short funny story. Christina, come on over here, Christina. Let's get a camera. So when I first met Christina, I didn't know how brilliant this kid was. Because she is an awesome tennis player. But she used to come to 5:30 tired. So I was like, look, here's this kid, man. I think she's smart, man, but she be like dozing off in the class. And then she's like, who? I was like, Christina. She said, oh no, not Christina Carson. Her parents don't play that. And I was like, nah, she retired. And she said, okay, I'll talk to her parents. So let me tell you, Christina, you have the dopest parents on the planet. Because they got that right together, right? And Christina, that year, Bronzeville is one of the top schools on the south side. I think it's the top school on the south side of Chicago, in the city of Chicago. And that's why we have my child there, right? And if they took 7th graders, my other child would have been there. All right, but Christina was the top 5th grader last year in her class in math. Y'all give it up. All right. It's a very diverse school, so we have like everything. We have some of the top Hispanics, Asians, Caucasians. We have everything in Bronzeville. And you know, sometimes people think that everybody else is smarter than our Black kids. You know, this is not a statement from Spicer, this is a statement from me. You know, I think that Black kids are the epitome of greatness and genius, and Christina has shown that. All right, and this year, Christina will be going to Whitney Young. Dolphin! All right, Dolphin! All right. You just had to get that out. You know I'm a Dolphin, right? Yeah, Dolphin! Dolphin! All right. That's where the great scholars go. And they must have went to Kenwood. All right, so moving on. The highest you can score on the test to get into the high schools is 600. Christina was not in the top 5%. She scored almost perfect. She got a 594 in that thing. 6 points, that's the highest score I've ever seen. So, Christina, it's not the SAT. Mic drop. It's not the SAT, but I got an Amazon gift certificate for you. Good job. All right. All right, so that's it. That's all.
The rest of our board members, the wonderful Warren family, right?
I'm so sorry, Edwards family. They're original 530 Scholar family. They made the balloons. They've been with us since the beginning. Marcellus Womack is our marketing and PR person who put all this together. Shanisa, that's why I hate naming names. Our co-founder, Lemiola. Candace Edwards is Warren's wife, and they are both on the board. So Edwards family, they got some kids that's gonna be on one of their banners because their kids are cold. So Midas, Monroe, and Madison, the Triple M connection, they kill it every year. And that is all. So thank you guys for coming out. The DJ's gonna play the music because the kids keep on texting me saying, is this a banquet or is this a ball? So DJ, play some music. All right, kids, dance it out. Get your last energy out. And we will see y'all next year on 5:30. Thank you guys for coming out. Growing up in the Roseland community on the south side of Chicago, you had two choices: join a gang or become a standout athlete. If we only celebrate children's accomplishments in sports, why would they strive to be great at anything else? As an adult, I vowed to be a part of changing that culture. We started the 530 Scholars to build a culture that celebrates high achievement in academics. Welcome to the new normal, where being smart is cool.